Right, so the episode opens with Grey Worm and his Unsullied looking badass and forming up outside a castle. Oh hey, it's Bronn. Looks like he got his fucking castle after all. Anyway, he orders extra precautions, and he and Jaime debate what possible reward men without cocks would want in this world, where basically the entire reward system for soldiers is brothels. Neither can answer. The Unsullied are backed by the Dothraki, and Bronn remarks that it's beginning to look a bit like they might very well be fucked. Cut to one of the boats on the way there, and Jon and Tyrion debate the merits of city life, which basically boils down to more work and more concentrated brothel. Cut to below deck, and the Hound trolls the captive zombie in the box, because why not? Cut to Cersei's chamber, and she's getting a sitrep from Qyburn. She tells the Mountain the preferred order of killing should shit go south, and leaves to meet them, with Jaime looking visibly uncomfortable. Outside, Jorah and Tyrion give a history lesson on the Dragon Pit while walking to meet with the Lannisters. Bronn greets them, accompanied by Brienne and Pod and some of the Lannisters. There's an emotional reunion as the situation will allow between Tyrion and Pod. The Hound tells someone to fuck off and has a basically respectful reunion and catch up with Brienne. Bronn and Tyrion trade bants, and they arrive at the meeting place and Bronn takes Pod off for a drink. There's an uncomfortable silence, the Hound laments his situation, and Cersei appears flanked by an entourage of guards and Jaime. Oh, and Euron too. Clegane Bowl shadowing! There's a bit more awkward waiting before Daenerys descends with her remaining dragons. Cersei throws some shade, but Euron's more of a dick than even she wants to tolerate. Then Tyrion and Jon get to explaining the situation. Cersei thinks it's all a joke. Tyrion concedes words aren't gonna cut it, so the Hound comes out with the box and kicks it open, and zombie! The chains attached to it conveniently stop it just short of Cersei, who incidentally no one made a move to protect. Jon lets them know how to kill them and drives home the point that if the dead aren't stopped at the wall, everyone will be made a zombie and therefore they're fucked. Euron's like, fuck this, I'm out. Cersei's like, truce then, and Daenerys is like, bitchin'. But then Cersei throws the curveball that as a condition of the truce, Jon can't get involved in the fight between the two queens after the war, and Jon's like, oh bloody hell, I can't gear that, since he's already pledged himself to Daenerys. Not like that! In response to that, Cersei basically tells him to jog on. Dany and Tyrion are like, fuck's sake, Jon! Jon says he's not gonna lie because his word would stop meaning anything and lying won't help them in this fight, and Tyrion says that is indeed a problem, but the more immediate problem is that we're fucked. That's not me this time, that's the actual line. So Tyrion goes to see Cersei in a last-ditch effort to convince her to help. He shares last bants with Jaime just in case, and goes through. The following scene is really worth watching as is if you can, but they basically hash it out and get out what they've been keeping in. Then Tyrion dares Cersei to have him killed. She doesn't, and they argue about Daenerys, and Tyrion guesses Cersei's pregnant. Cut back to the arena, and Dany comforts Jon's moping. They get to talking, and the question of kids comes up. Dany's like, the witch that killed my husband says I can't have him, and Jon's like, bet she's chatting shit, fam. They lament their situation, and Jon says they're fucked. Again, actual line. Then Cersei comes back and she's like, yeah, alright, we'll help you, and everyone else is like, bitchin'. Cut to Winterfell, and Sansa's pissed off that Jon surrendered the crown without consulting her. Littlefinger tries to convince her to Norman Osborn him, but she won't for fear of Arya. Littlefinger tells Sansa to assume the worst of Arya and manipulates her into reasoning that Arya wants to kill her and become Lady of Winterfell. Crafty bastard. Cut to Dragonstone, and Jon is laying out how to gather the troops, suggesting that he and Daenerys sail together. She goes for it. Oh god, it's gonna happen, isn't it? Afterwards, Theon talks to Jon about morality, and Jon's like, I've fucked up a lot. And Theon's like, not as much as me, mate. And Jon's like, fair. They reconcile after Jon forgives what he can of Theon's betrayal, and Theon declares his intention to rescue Yara. Cut to the beach, and Theon tries to rally the Ironborn, but they seem more interested in fucking off and colonising some island somewhere. Theon gets into a scrap with the ringleader, and after a decidedly one-sided beatdown, he gets lucky after repeated failed attempts at a low blow, and takes him out. For some reason, this is good enough for the others to follow him. Cut to Winterfell, and Sansa orders Arya be brought to the Great Hall. There she is. She builds up the drama with the charges and then suddenly says, psych, it's actually Littlefinger's trial. She proceeds to lay bare all of Littlefinger's crimes, basically all the shit that's gone down in the world's longest prologue to the zombie attack. That was all him. And Bran, being an omnipotent forest god now, knows everything for a fact. He tries to talk his way out of it, and then tries to pull rank on his underlings. Neither works, so he tries begging for his life. Before long, Arya walks up and slices his throat. Littlefinger, and with him the political intrigue element of the show, is dead. Sad face? Question mark? Smiley face? I mean, it depends where you stand, I suppose. Cut to King's Landing, and Jaime's going over deployment with the troops, and Cersei's all like, we're not actually going north, you donut. Turns out Euron fucked off to bring an army of sellswords from Essos, and Cersei just plans to take back Westeros while everyone else is fighting the zombies. Jaime says, fuck this, I'm out, and leaves, calling Cersei's bluff to have him killed. He rides off through the snow to join the fight. Cut to the north, and Sam Tarly visits Bran, and Bran's like, I'm three-eyed Raven, and Sam's like, Cool. Bran confirms the R plus L equals J theory. Jon's actually the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. Then Sam says he's not actually a bastard. There was a secret wedding and Bran's like, shit off, and uses his omnipotent forest god powers to confirm that Jon is in fact Aegon Targaryen, heir to the Iron Throne. As they come to this realization, Jon, not realizing she's his aunt, pledges himself to Daenerys. Yes, like that. God, not only are they related, her assumed birthright is actually his. That's gonna cause some tension next season, isn't it? Anyway, back in Winterfell, Arya and Sansa, they reconcile their differences and resolve to look after each other, and mutually declare that they miss Sean Bean. We all do. Bran decides to do some meth in the Godswood, and through that we cut to the wall. Tormund's manning the place, but then... Holy shit, zombie dragon! That's like 1,000,000,000 times worse! Oh. Well. That wall wasn't up to much, was it? That's not good. Things are gonna get interesting next season.